Good. Good. Okay. We should be able to hear me. I'm pretty sure I hit the recording on, and if not, well, then I didn't. Sorry. So gotta get the headphones on and make sure all the audio is good. So right now you can hear me. Or well, you can't. I don't know. We got the new headset over here. Well, it's not a new headset, but I do got to move it over the mic now because it's caught in there for some weird reason. But what up? All right, let's get the camera moving a little bit so it doesn't get the cord in there. Good to go. All right. Not sure how long this week's is going to be. Could be 15, 20 minutes. Could be 45 minutes. I never know. But anyways, welcome back for another excellent edition of Glad You Game. And it's like, by the way, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. It was like, last week was like the largest episode we've had, or I've had in months. Definitely the largest one of this year, because it was the only one. No, but really, thanks. I appreciate everybody jumping in. Obviously, there's people missed content, which is already great to see. It's difficult. You know, it was already difficult when it's Sage and me, and since it's mainly going to be me a lot right now, it's even more difficult because then I have to keep talking, which I know what everybody thinks. I was talking the whole time, but it is nice to have those mental breaks in the podcast when someone else is helping. But he's got a lot going on with work, and I was like, should I just stop this completely? And looking at the downloads last week, kind of, and the interaction we got on Twitter and stuff, I was like, know what? I'm in. Also, I just got to get these fucking like thoughts out of my head. So it's going to I know it's always been like stream of consciousness of gaming, and that's what we're going to continue. So there's a couple things this week that happened. It was really easy to talk for a while last week because of the Xbox buying Activision and Blizzard. This week, not as much crazy shit happened, which obviously is going to be the case majority of the time. But there is some interesting stuff that happened. So, speaking of Activision Blizzard, okay, my laptop just like shut off apparently. It was at full battery, but whatever. We're going to just roll with it. I'm pretty sure I know what it says. Or do I? Anyways, Activision Blizzard has a new IP. It's going to be the first IP in a long time that they're making, specifically on the Blizzard side. It's a AAA survival game. That's all we really know about it, because they have job openings, a bunch of job postings for it, stuff like that. It's kind of what's. I'm just gonna try to put this in the charger while we do that. But yeah, so that's interesting. There's no other information other than it's a AAA survival, and that they asked people who looked for that. When I did that, like 5 things fell on this because this shit was left on the other table. I don't know why. But yeah, so that's interesting. It would be nice to see another new game from them. They haven't really made a new IP, I think. And again, because the laptop's off, so I'm just going off the dome piece here. I'm pretty sure since Overwatch, and everybody I know is like thinking Overwatch 2 as well. But, you know, new IP, so not Overwatch, not Warcraft, not StarCraft, despite what people might want. And I have to try to charge this. One sec. All right. Yeah, so that's annoying. But yeah, I don't know. This laptop's also old as shit. It's like 12 years old. So apparently a 50% battery charge lasts 50 seconds is what that means. It's like me in bed. Just kidding. All day. Now that actually sounds exhausting. 50 seconds sounds way more fun. Maybe not for everybody, but for me. Anyways, back to the gaming world, because that's what it's all about here. Yeah, so this will be the first new IP, I believe, since Overwatch, which is pretty cool. I think it'll be great. They make a lot of good stuff. I don't know if this has anything to do with the merger itself, really. But it is going to be for PC and console. So it's going to be for a few things. So that's pretty interesting. Now, okay, cool. We're back on laptop thing. Luckily, the podcast runs off a separate computer, right? And the camera is off my phone. So, and the audio, is running off a separate thing. So like even when the laptop goes, it's just used for information. Who gives a fuck about information, right? We don't need that. We just need opinions, takes, hot takes, not cold takes. Maybe some cold takes. We make fun of them, but dude, I'm fucking all over the place. It's crazy. It's great. I haven't even checked the channel to make sure the audio is working. For all I know, I'm just talking to myself in a cube, in a bubble, in an ellipse. Fun fact: the Earth is running on. We orbit with a 3% ellipse. Most people think it's a circle. It's not. But if you looked at a 3% ellipse just on a piece of paper, it would look like a circle because it's such a small grade that it looks like that. But now in our solar system drawings, you see it's more elongated just to kind of let you know when it's an ellipse. But yeah, I'd see like right there. That connection is stuff that normally Sage would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why? That's not about games. It could be. It could be about Kerbal Space Station. Kerbal Space Station 2, great game. All about that. But that's more about rocket engine design, right? And get off planet, which is a ton of fun. But you could say maybe it's going to have an effect on Starfield. See, just tied into the game, which does come out this year. Also, let's talk about how February, that was it I had on Blizzard, by the way. I'm past it. Let's talk about how February is going to be a baller game time. I mean, next week, beginning of February, you got Dying Light 2, which I've been waiting for pretty much since I beat the first one. It's fucking awesome. The first one is. The second one looks so much better. It's wildly expanded. They had that viral information where like if you want to do everything, mission, side quests, like every bit of dialogue, all the lore objects, it's like 500 hours to complete, like full complete. But like the main story is really like 20 hours ish, and then main story plus side quest is like 80. And it's like, dude, that's still, and people are like, oh man, that's like nothing. It's like, what the fuck, man? A 20-hour story is incredible. A 20-hour story plus side quest being like 80 hours, hell yeah, count me in. I mean, the longest I put in the game, that's like a single player game, because multiplayer games don't count because you just keep ranking the hours, right? I've been back in Valorant and been stacking those hours, stacks on sticks. That is probably Persona 5. I was at like 100 hours or right below 100 hours because I was trying to platinum that bitch because that game is so good. But I think I'm definitely going to do all the side quests and main story for definitely all the main story, and I try to do all the side quests because I love the Dying Light first one. I love the expansion, and I'm so pumped for this and all the world environments that they had, where I think they have like depending on how you handle the missions and things like that, the city around you will kind of adapt and grow. So mine might look different than somebody else's, right? So it's kind of like an interactive environment that you're having effects on, and that's fucking really cool. What else is coming? Now, one big AAA game a month is awesome. There's also, the next week, Horizon Forbidden West. That's right, baby. Horizon's back, ready to rock, and it looks fucking gorgeous. All right, we got Carrie Ann Moss is back, and they got Ashley Birch. I mean, it's a star-studded cast. I love it. You know, she's back as Aloy, of course. But it looks so good, and I'm just saying the ones I can remember off the top of my head because again, the computer keeps like turning on and off. So we're just kind of vibing with it. We're vibing, baby. But anyway, it looks so fucking good that we're gonna chew it. Oh, look at that! Oh, it's great. But it looks so good that I like don't want to leave that world. It's like, why do you guys keep doing that? Because it looks awesome. The new environments, I'm excited to actually get some swimming mechanics in there. I'm excited to meet the new like cyber beasts and all that kind of shit. It's been too long since I've taken out like a mech T-Rex or a mech raptor or a mech woolly mammoth. You need to take down a mech one every now and then. Now my dog is fucking nuts with animals and stuff on TV, like Red Dead Redemption, which 90% of your travel is obviously on the horse unless you're doing the train or something. That was like, oh my God. And then when you do the lore objects of like trying to get the epic animals, which is like the alligator and shit like that, and you're trying to get, and you have to like fight all those, and my dog's like, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I love you though. You're so ugly, but shut the fuck up. You know, everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? You have the love-hate relationship with your pets where you love them But you hate them because you can't intunely communicate, right? They can take orders and shit like that. And they kind of know, like, oh, I don't do this, don't do that. But it'd be nice to be like, yo, bro, can you just not, like, bark at the TV anymore? Just stop doing that. Like, let's go do this. Hey, if we go for a walk, can I just not do a leash? Just don't chase after a squirrel, right? I won't even put you on a leash. I'll take your fucking collar off. We'll just walk together. We'll shoot shit. Just don't chase random animals. Why don't we do that? That would be cool, right? Give me that fucking game. Well, we kind of have that stray game, that cat game, or at least, but you're controlling the cat. That's what I want, That'd be fun, like a little just hanging out with the dog, but it's really I'm just communicating with the dog, and it's like, what's up? What do you want to do today? Nothing. Do you want me to put on, the fucking Paw Patrol? Yeah. Like, do you want to watch Frasier because the dog in Frasier's adorable? Yeah. Anyways, Aloy, like that was like a transition for Horizon, but Horizon looks awesome. So that's coming out, and that's supposed to be a lot bigger than the initial one. I think it's like a 20% map increase. Obviously, you got the ray tracing on it. It looks fucking awesome. Going to leverage a lot of the PS5 capabilities. It was cross-platform, as in like PS4, PS5, but I think they really did dedicate the team a lot to the PS5 that I don't think we're going to notice like an issue of them like, oh, well, they couldn't really do this because they were still trying to support PS4. And that's definitely things that happen, but I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. And then, so now you got Dying Light 2 and Horizon. These are already like, that's a great month, baby. That's a huge month in gaming, huge AAA titles. That's enough. There's more than enough game for the month. More than enough game for the next couple months. But no, because everything got pushed. We also got Sicario, or maybe it's not Sicario. It's like sick. I see this. I'm so bad with pronouncing stuff. Let me see if I can get it out here. I know what the game. It's the Japanese game that when you die you age. I'm trying to Sifu. I'm trying to properly say it. So I think it's Sifu. If that's wrong, I'm sorry. I don't want it to be. I'm more upset than you. So credit to me for being able to admit that. Being the bigger man. It takes a bigger man to admit their faults, and that's just what I'm doing here today. Anyway, so Sifu looks fucking sick, and I realize everybody's like, I know what game you're talking about. Like, not yet. Sifu is also coming out in February, which looks really cool. It's like this kind of like samurai fighting game. Kind of like harkens back to some old school fighting games where you're kind of like running through the levels of the building and things like that as it seems like you kind of traverse. The cool thing is when you die, you kind of age. So your character change becomes an older version, but you have more knowledge and your fight style kind of changes because you're more wise and stuff. And to me, that's really fucking cool. I've personally, like, after I got that much information, I kind of stayed away because I kind of want to be surprised by it and have it excite me. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I think that's it for February, right? Right? Well, I know we also had Rainbow Six Extraction just came out, but that's January. Is there anything else in February? Oh, yeah. Obviously, the number one game that has been the most anticipated game for 3 straight years of the Game Awards. Everybody's been begging for it. I've looked forward to it. It's what every person who's ever played a From Software game has wanted. I'm talking Demon Souls, any of the Dark Souls, Bloodborne, baby, all of that shit. It's been building to this game. This game even got George R.R. Martin, who helped create some of the world story, famous for Game of Thrones. And what game am I talking about? I'm talking about Elden Ring. It went gold. It is definitely coming out. There is no more delays. It's coming out in February. After the initial release was supposed to be November 12th, 2021. Got pushed back, but it's coming, and it looks so fucking good. And I'm trying not to watch any like gameplay videos. After I saw one, I was like, great, it looks great. I know it's going to have that kind of capability that we're used to with the Souls games and Bloodborne. But I just want to get back in that world and feel it. Obviously, I know you're traversing a lot with like a horse and shit. So like I said, I'm going to have to deal with that with my dog. That's why we have fences. That's why we have doors. but I'm too much of a bitch. I'll probably be like, it's okay, baby. You can just watch, and then I'll kind of just deal with it. But whatever. It looks so fucking great. Now, historically, Souls games, Bloodborne, the best part about them and the worst part about them is their difficulty. They are a fucking nightmare to beat. I mean, nightmare. They are the hardest games I've ever played. Probably including Atari 2600 and Sega Genesis, when the games might have just been shittily engineered, just not at the fault of the engineers unless it's ET. More of the capability of the console and how you could just do it then, where it was incredibly difficult. These Souls games bring back that difficulty, but the accomplishment, the feeling of like being a champion and winning and overcoming in those games, when you finally do, and you will, you just keep pounding, right? You keep learning. How do I defense? How do I oh man, not parlay. Is it? Parry. Yeah. How you probably do that. The step, stab, stuff like that. You put on Walking on Broken Glass, Annie Lumix, shout out. That got me through Bloodborne and a lot of high blood pressure, right? Walking on broken glass. And then you just like dance, like bang, bang, slash, bang, bang, slash. And you just kind of feel the vibe of the game. It takes the stress out, and then you start really getting it. Or the Souls game where it's like shield, block, hit. I mean, once you get roll, dodge, once you get into the rhythm and learn each bosses or fight encounters, I should say, dance, right? Because it really is a dance. It's so good. And then when you overcome it, the feeling of overcoming that adversity and being that, because the game is so hard, is like, fuck, yes. So I mentioned that, one, because it's hard not to talk about those games without mentioning that, but two, From Software got interviewed recently where the producer actually said Elden Ring was explicitly retooled to reduce player stress. So, in effect, making the game difficult in the right places, but gentler in how you reach them. So it's not reducing the overall difficulty. You're still getting the same difficulty you get on the boss encounters. I think it's more of the getting towards those encounters, getting towards those storyline. Like, it's not as intense, and probably more bonfires and shit, like save points, checkpoints. Now, some of that is also the danger, right? You can't save. You can't just save. You have to find a bonfire. So it's like, oh, go to this room. You might get fucked up, and then your bonfire is all the way back there, and you got to go all the way through everything, the boss fight and shit again. I think they've added more. So basically, so this is the producer. I'm so bad at this. The battle's family difficult, but all right. So the producer is Yashiro Kato. It's Yasuhiro space, obviously, last name Kitao. I can't pronounce shit. That's never been a secret. Everybody knows that. It's constantly mentioned on this podcast by me, myself, or my not former product. Sage is still on the podcast, to be clear. Just, he's got a lot of shit going on, like I said. So, needed a break. Or when he, properly pronounces things for me. But basically, he said, with the game's world being so large that can produce real depths and breadth of enjoyment, it can also lead to unnecessary stress for some players. The dev team has been very careful to avoid that where possible. What does that mean? I don't know. But I think that means they've put in a little more checkpoints. Areas like safe areas where you're not going to just get destroyed, so you kind of collect your breath before the next large encounter. And if you've seen any of these trailers, there are massive encounters coming. It's the first open world one, right? It's all been building to this. The level design of these games, specifically Bloodborne, the level design of Bloodborne is either the best or in top 3 best level design in all of video game history. I mean, it is phenomenal how that map works and how the level design and how they use every piece of it. And then it comes into play 10 hours down the road, 5 hours down the road, 15 hours down the road, DLC down the road. Everything connects. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? That's where that gate went? Oh, yeah, because it went through this? Like, what the fuck? And then learning that and opening these doors. It's just so intense. But half the fear is like you die in this boss battle, you get thrown back to the last bonfire. Sometimes that's pretty close. Sometimes it's pretty fucking far. I'm guessing this is like more bonfires, more save points, and maybe more like less creeper encounters. But we'll see. I don't want it to be a low stress. Like, you can't erase the difficulty, because the difficulty, while it sucks, is also what makes it great. You know, it's what's worth it. Sometimes, you know, the hardest thing to do is the right thing to do, right? The more difficult thing is when you get that sense of accomplishment, right? So the shout out Weatherman for the previous quote. Well, I think that sometimes the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing. That's like a Nicolas Cage movie I feel like 7 people watched. I was one of those 7. I've actually watched it 3 times, so maybe I'm 3 of the 7. Who knows? Anyways, I'm very excited for it. I think it looks great, and I can't not like just get excited about where it's going, which is kind of why it's like when you're excited for a movie, you don't watch the upcoming trailers because you just want to be surprised and excited about it, right? You want something new. You want to see something fun. You don't want it to be ruined at all, with things like that. So you're kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to let it roll. All right? And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm doing for all these games. Dying Light, Horizon, Forbidden West, Sifu, and Dark Souls. Elden Ring. Oh my god, how am I gonna play all these fucking games? It's such a stupid problem to have, because it's like I've been waiting for all these, so I have like it set aside to get them. It's just you gotta play them. You gotta. These are, and like one of these games is stuff that's like, oh, that's what we waited years for, and we're getting fucking 3 of them. You Sifu, I can see you be like, well, that's kind of like not the AAA. Just like a really cool indie game, and that I do agree with, but it's still exciting. But let's take Sifu out, which I am so fucking pumped to play, and that's the only one I might fucking finish by the end of the month, obviously. But yeah, I'm gonna be living on it. And also, fun fact, and I can get all of them and download them all if I want to do them all PS5, for example. I could get them on PC as well, so. And I got a Series X controller for the PC to kind of make it those certain games easier. But I'll probably get them for PS5. But, well, obviously Horizon. But we'll see. But I could store them all in there, because over the weekend I installed a 1 terabyte heatsink SSD. And it took like 30 seconds. It was super easy. You know what the longest thing was? Not even doing that. I am so like anal. Like once I start doing something, I'm like, oh, I'll clean that later. And then my brain's like, no, just fucking clean it now. I just vacuumed and cleaned the entire PS5, the entire electronics cabinet, behind the electronics cabinet, all the wires. And I just spent like a half hour doing that. The actual process of replacing the hard drive, boom, 30 seconds done. And by the way, popping those covers off is so easy. It's like bang, bang, done. That it's like, I can't wait to get a new PS5 cover, because the white PS5 is cool, but I gotta get something sexier. You got like the whole Galaxy editions, right? So it's basically red, black, like teal, blue, purple, and pink. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna get purple. I think it's just such an out there color for like a gaming console. It's always like white, black. You get some shades of green, right, with Xbox, or red. You know, Nintendo's kind of done that. We have grays. Pink is just too bright for the room. I don't want to distract eye contact. So then it's like, I've had the black one before, with like PS2 and PS3 and PS4. kind of want to just change it up. And the blue is good, but the blue is the same issue as the pink, where it's like very vibrant, very bright. The purple is a fun, kind of cool color, but it's also dark, right? So it's not distracting from your eyes when you're playing. And that's kind of like the key for me, is like I kind of want to just blend into the system so I can just focus on the screen. So I'm excited for when those colors come out. Right now you can get the black and red. The other colors aren't out yet. I think they're out at the end of the month or end of this week. And I'm probably gonna get purple, and then probably purple controller, or I might mix and match the controllers. I do like that they made the controller colors all for this covers as well, so you can get a controller to match that cover. But like, you gotta do the Xbox Design Lab version for PlayStation. I want to make my own. I want to put cool shit on it. I want to design it myself. I need PlayStation Design Lab. Xbox Design Lab is awesome, so cool. Get one for a Glad You Game controller. You got to get one Sony. I need a Sony Glad You Game controller. Like, what are you doing, man? I can't just have it on Xbox. I need it to kind of traverse. And the Xbox One can be used on PC. And I saw DualSenses are getting support on Oculus devices and PC. Pretty cool. I'll get some good rumble features. But yeah, so I'm excited to pop those covers on, and that will take also like 30 seconds. But then I'll also probably end up cleaning just other shit. But yeah, it's like bang, bang, done. So I'm excited to get that, and I will probably be getting the purple one, the Galactic Purple, I think it's called, or something like that. So let me know if anybody else is getting certain colors, or which ones you like or don't like. But purple's the one I think I'm rolling with. Getting excited about it. Also, what came out today is we got 3 Star Wars announcements, right? Star Wars is back, baby. So 3 game announcements this morning. 1, we're getting a Jedi Fallen Order 2. Well, they really call it the Star Wars Jedi series, so it might not be called Fallen Order, just Star Wars Jedi fuck up Grogu. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm in. That game was excellent. It really gave me Jedi Outcast vibes and things like that with Kyle Katarn and stuff that I didn't get for a while, like Dark Forces 2, those old school Star Wars games vibes, and brought into the new one, also bringing some KOTOR stuff, which we're also getting that KOTOR game, I believe, at the end of this year. So I'm very excited for that announcement. There's not a ton, in depth, other than we're doing a sequel on that. There's also going to be a new Star Wars FPS in the Star Wars galaxy. So it's going to be a first-person shooter game. So maybe that will kind of lean more to Dark Forces 2-esque, or maybe more like Call of Duty Star Wars. I don't know. It's being done by Respawn, so it's like the Titanfall team is doing it. So it'd be cool to see obviously not Battlefront, because they're not doing Battlefront 3. This is not one of the 3 games, but be interesting to see like a really intense first-person shooter, and it's done by co-creator or previous creator of Medal of Honor. So I think we might get some of that gritty feeling to it, which would be pretty cool. Like that, what was it, Star Wars 1313, I think it was called, that got canceled, where you're gonna be the bounty hunter, like trying to get out of that prison break thing. So that has got me excited. And the third one is a Star Wars strategy game developed with Respawn and Bit Reactor. Respawn is producing the Star Wars strategy game. Bit Reactor leads development of the title. So that's pretty cool. So what is a Star Wars strategy game? I don't know. I mean, you could say it's like Command and Conquer. You could say it's like StarCraft. You could say it's like Halo Wars. Or it could be kind of like KOTOR-esque, because there is, that's like an RPG with strategy. I'm not really sure if it's like a real-time strategy or more of like an XCOM, but it is, side note, being helmed by previous XCOM, veterans. So maybe think more XCOM, right? Maybe Brothers in Arms kind of thing. I'm thinking of Medal of Honor before. So maybe that kind of squad control. But that's all we really know. So they were announced. To be honest, I'm excited for all 3, but let's get that Star Wars Jedi game out like fucking now. Dude, February is a great month for that to release, right? So they just announced that we didn't get any dates. I have no idea when they're fucking coming. They're just that they're being worked on. And they expect them to make a lot of money. And that's pretty much it. So I like to see that Lucasfilm's game is kind of rolling with that. So that is pretty exciting. And let me just go back and do the whole Xbox Activision thing. I stand by what I said. I think Game Pass is going to get added to PlayStation at some point. I just think it's going to be treated like Netflix. They don't give a fuck about the console or really the platform. They give a fuck about their subscriber base and user base and bringing the content. What that means, larger subscriber base, just like you see all those apps on multiple different things. It's not like Netflix is like, well, we're not going on Apple TV, PlayStation, Xbox. It's like, no, it's on all three. I can see that kind of happening, like Prime Video. Amazon Prime is in direct competition with Apple, right? But you can watch Prime Video on Apple TV. It's kind of shit like that. I kind of expect it to go like that. I know I said by the end of the year. I still kind of think that right now. I think it's going to be my hot take of this year is that by the end of the year, Game Pass will be on there. But that's not what I want to talk about. There's a cool graph I put on Twitter. It kind of shows all the studios. And now Xbox basically has as many studios as Sony. But also if you look like EA has just as many studios. Take-Two has just as many studios. And like I said, with the acquisition, there's still $6 billion less in annual revenue than Sony in gaming, not overall. The Xbox Game Studio. But then if you look at like Tencent and stuff, that dwarfs everybody else. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, they are not, and I'm saying that not to create competition. I'm saying that because Xbox is not killing Sony. Sony's not killing Xbox. They both have two large pieces of a very big pie. They're both like 20% of the market. They're not 50. They might each have 20% market share, right? Of like first party studios, I'm saying, not like of consoles, right? So that's still 40%. That's not even half of all the studio market. There's so much more out there. And now they're going to create so much more great content for Xbox, for PlayStation, for PC, depending on, which studio it's for and exclusive rights and all that kind of shit, whatever. We're going to get a lot of more new cool games, right, that aren't maybe the Call of Duty team doesn't just have to make Call of Duty and whatever. Like, we're going to get so much more content. This isn't about Xbox winning or Sony winning. Stop being pieces of shit asshole fanboys online. This is the toxic Sony fanboys, toxic Xbox fanboys, Xbots, and I think Sony fanboys are just called Sony fanboys. I'm not sure. And also the PC people who also do that kind of bullshit. This is just good for all the gamers. It's really good. There's going to be so much new competition and new content and fresh ideas, and more is just growing because the industry is growing. We all won. Okay? Stop being dicks to each other. The content is out there for everybody, and it's probably going to start saturating to get out there for a lot more people, like I'm saying with Xbox Game Pass on more platforms. And even if it doesn't go on Sony, like I said, it's also on PC, so you can get it there. So there is other activities, and maybe PS5 with Spartacus is going to be day and date release on PC as well. Then if you have the PC, you can kind of play fucking everything. I mean, it's just... and you can at least get one console and then get the service of your choice on PC. So you get the PC games plus the Sony games or the Xbox game. And Nintendo's just doing its own thing, and everybody's going to get that too. So the gamers win. Stop being piece of shit. Stop denying facts when something is good. It was a great move by Xbox. They are going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. Is that ecosystem going to potentially one day be on Sony? I think so, because it's a streaming service. It's games as a service. But maybe it won't be. I don't know. But I would say the business makes sense for that. But my point is, it's good for everybody. We're going to get so much fucking awesome content from this, awesome games. It's just becoming bigger and bigger to something that Xbox was going to go away 5 years ago when they're like, we're not really sure we want to stand behind it. Now they're going full in. This is fucking great. And Sony's going to keep going full in. And then we have other studios that are going. I mean, we're going to get a ton of great stuff. Gaming is only expanding. It's already the biggest market, and it's going to continue being the biggest market over and over again. Game's not going anywhere. Content is growing. Gamers win. Period. Don't be a dick. Stop denying facts of when someone gets a cool game made. Starfield's a great game. Don't be well, it's probably a knockoff of Skyrim. We know how buggy that is. Shut the fuck up. You want to play Starfield, you want to play Elder Scrolls. I don't give a shit what you think about that developer's fucking buggy initial releases with fucking Fallout and stuff like that. You would be there day one if it was on Sony. Day one if it was on PC. Day one if it was on Xbox. Obviously, give me Xbox and PC because of Game Pass. But I'm just making my point. And the same thing with like God of War, right? Ragnarok. Like, oh, it's just linear game. It looks kind of similar to the first God of War. Shut the fuck up. If that was coming out on the Xbox, you would be buying it day one because it's incredible. It just broke every goddamn record after a week coming out on PC last week. You want to play, it's fine. You don't have to be an asshole about it. Sony people want to play Halo because it's great. Xbox people want to play Uncharted. They want to play Last of Us Part 2. It's only so divisive because they don't get it. And that's fine. But the content is coming in other ways, so that way you can get it, and then everybody can start playing. Because it's like, just admit, be like, you know what? That's really cool. You don't, they're making money regardless. They don't care if you like it or not. Stop being beholden to this AAA studio or really publisher in Sony or Microsoft or whatever that doesn't really care if you like it or not, because they're still they're still taking the check, baby. They're still taking it in. Just fucking acknowledge it's awesome. And one day you'll get access to it and get to play it. If it's a shitty game, you can say it's a shitty game. But don't just say it's a shitty game because you can't have it when we both know deep down if that came out on console X of your choice or PC X, Y of your choice or by publisher, Z of your choice, you'd be fucking playing it day one. Stop being a fucking asshole. Stop being a dick. There's great games on everywhere, great games from every publisher, great games on all the consoles, great games on the PC, and you can acknowledge it even if you don't have them. And they're not bad just because you don't have them or can't have them right now. Because you know what? They are great, and one day you will get to play them. So be excited for when that day fucking comes, and I think it's coming a lot sooner than you think. All right? Let's go. Be Gadget Game. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Lots to game. Lots to do in February. Can't wait. I think that's it. I don't got any trivia, just that. And I have no idea how long I went. We're just going to roll with it. All right? Love you all. Bye.